We did it. We're live. Good morning, good morning. I think. Ah, yes, we did. We did. We did it. We're here. We're live. Good morning, YouTube. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and like, share with your friends. And I will get started in uno momento. We are live. Okay. We are. Let's just share this. Join me live. And then I'll hit the record button. How is everybody today? It's Monday. Damn it. If my dog is doing that shit again, I'm gonna get really mad. Okay. Okay. All right. Here we are. We're doing it. It is Monday. Let's hit the record button, shall we? All right, everybody. Welcome to Rise and Shine with Morning Moon. My name is Coach Lacey. It is Monday. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Be sure to do so, or the follow wherever you found me on the big wild web. Whew, take a deep breath, and we are almost to the end of June. Wow. Oh my goodness. It's got me reflecting a little bit on growth and change. So today we're going to be talking about growth and change. So strap in because I am holding you up to a standard. So it is Monday, as I said before, and if nobody has told you lately, you are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to make a change, and actually, we are supposed to. I have been 100 different versions of myself in this life, and maybe you have too. I've been the rebel. I've been the good girl. I have been the healer, the addict, the wanderer, the leader, the lost one, the loud one, and the quiet. I have lived so many different lives during this time on Earth that sometimes I wonder who the heck I even am. But I realize that my identity is is fluid and I am just a different version of myself almost every year, and we are supposed to change. And this weekend I hung out with some old friends and I was reminiscing about times past, and it made me realize how much I have changed and how much I have grown, because the girl that I was 20 years ago was completely different. And sometimes I hang out with some of my old friends and I love them, but they are almost exactly the same. And it makes me wonder, how people can go through life and continue living in those same patterns and getting caught up in it. And at 40, I can feel this shift again, that, this sacred shift, that moment when you're being asked to expand, and that moment when you are being called to grow again, because life is an evolution of growth. And it's never comfortable, and it's never something we really want, unless, of course, it's revolve around like money or having fun or something. But usually growth is not a fun process, and it means letting go, and it means kind of saying goodbye to um, people, places, and things, and burning those old identities, wishing them well, giving them a kiss goodbye, and grieving who you were and that version of you that carried you through some really difficult times, whether you were like a hot mess or whether you were calm in the storm and you made it through, but they still got you where you're at. And it can be difficult to determine whether or not you're ready to step into that new identity. And sometimes you just have to make the leap. And we do things afraid. We don't do them because we are ready or because they're comfortable. We do them because they're necessary. Absolutely necessary. And growth and change over a lifetime is absolutely necessary, especially if you want to become the version of yourself that you've always dreamed of being. We all have this version of ourselves in our mind of who we want to become. And when we're young, we're told that we can be anything that we want to be. We can show up any way we want to show up, but we're never really given that exact map of how to do so. So we stumble and we fall and we have trial and error. And through those times, we forget to, we almost let go of some of those dreams when life happens and chaos ensues. And we spend this lifetime of anchoring in and trying to do our little things and habits to stay sane, stay sane and stay healthy and you know, get through those difficult storms of life. And in those moments, we end up losing ourselves. We end up losing maybe what the dream it was we had when we were young. Perhaps our dreams change. Perhaps we get lost to the folly of life and we feel like those dreams could never even be realized. And I'm here to tell you from my own experience, I've had major disappointments and losses and shifts, but I never lost sight of who I wanted to become and what I wanted for my life. And it's evolved over time, but with my process of anchoring in and staying real and staying true to myself and true to my heart and true to God and surrendering, I have found that evolution is just it's inevitable and it's fluid and it is the it is the transformation and it is basically the essence of life. Transformation is the essence of life, and if we stay stuck and stagnant like a river that's pulled up and had a dam to where a dammed river to where that the energy is not flowing, it becomes stagnant. And that's when things like diseases grow and we start to flounder. And so how do we break that dam and get it, get that energy flowing again and get the river of our life and our heart moving again? Because sometimes it can be so hard, especially when we're bogged down with substance abuse, chaos, our own sadness, depression in life and memories that we cannot rid ourselves of. How on earth could we ever be expected to move such a weight that is feels just unmovable? And that is where we have to power through and get beyond ourselves and anchor in and do the things that we don't feel like doing, because life is not about how we feel or seeking pleasure. It's so much bigger than that. And once we can put our sword down and surrender and realize that there's something bigger than ourselves and we can live in service of others and not in service of ourselves, then we can break the dam and the energy will flow and we will start to shift again. And we have to make a commitment to ourselves that we want to make that shift and we are excited to meet our new self as we evolve, change, and grow. And we all evolve, change, and grow, even if you have been relatively the same for the last 20 years. Say you wear the same style and you have worn the same style, listened to the same music, watched the same shows, hung out in the same crowds for the last 20 years. You've still shifted somewhere. You've still had moments of change and you've still had identity shifts, even if it doesn't look like it on the surface. So how can you be brave enough to let those identity shifts show and be strong and courageous in your heart enough to say goodbye to some of those identities that no longer serve you? And recognizing that you're not broken because you are putting the sword down and willing to change and willing to make a shift. Recognizing that you're blossoming and you're blooming into something bigger than yourself. And you are in the becoming this whole Life is a process of becoming. It is the hero's journey. We start at the end of the mountain, we get to the climax of the top, and then we make our way down again. And our culture, it tells us that we have to have it all figured out, and that if we pivot, we are flaky. And if we let go of old beliefs, we're weak. And if we have a wobble, that it's not worth it. And then if we evolve, we're not being true to ourselves. But really, the truest thing that we can do, into the way that we can really be the most authentic, is if we are in motion and we let the energy flow and we break those dams that have kept the water pooled up for so long. What if God's plan is to keep revealing those layers of yourself that you never even knew were buried under the surface, under all of that survival? Because really, most of us are just trying to survive this life. And I looking back and hanging out with old friends and laughing, and it's so wonderful to circle back to those memories of our 20s and of our 30s, and meet those versions of ourselves where we were at, and give them love and giggles and fun, and then wish them well, or maybe take them with you and say, "Hey, let's show you a different way." And if you want to embrace it, cool. If not, great. Maybe you learned something that you can embody, and hanging out with old friends, and seeing them struggle with the same demons as they struggled with, and the same demons that I struggle with. um, it it makes me realize, it makes me recognize my own growth, and it makes me proud of myself. And I'm proud of them too in their own journey. And I would hope that all of my friends and acquaintances and everybody that I have met in my lifetime would have the courage to embrace a new version of themselves and see who they could be. We are not who we were at 25. I'm not even who I was at 35. I'm now 39, and I am worlds different than who I was at 35. And that wasn't that long ago. And you know what? I'm proud of that. And I'm really glad for that. I'm happy for me that I could be a different version of myself, and I can walk shoulder to shoulder with people that, um, I no longer, I no longer, it's not that I don't resonate with them, but I no longer identify with that lifestyle. And looking in on that lifestyle from outside makes me thankful for my own evolution and growth. And that doesn't mean that wherever people are at is wrong. It just means that that's where they're at. Um and that today I'm choosing different, and that makes me proud of myself, and I'm proud of all of my friends who have also made that shift. Because this version of me, this 39. Whoa. I had to think about that for a minute. 39. I wanted to say 29, but this 39-year-old version of me, I'm choosing peace. I'm choosing peace over performing. I'm choosing sobriety over escapism. I'm choosing purpose over pleasure. And I'm choosing God over my own ego, choosing to surrender to something bigger than myself. And that's worlds different than who I even was at 35. Worlds. I have been stuck in myself for the last 20 years. I've lived a very selfish life. And in the next 30 years, I would like to live outside myself and not be so selfish and serve others. My life has been all about me for the last, 20 years. My life has been all about me. And I would like for that to be not the story moving forward. And so that's where I'm at. And that's why I'm choosing to put the pipe down. That's why I'm choosing not to keep partying. That's why I'm choosing, sobriety over being stoned. Um, And it's difficult. I'm on day 6, and that feels like a small number, but to me, that's huge because before I couldn't even fathom a day without without a substance. And that's been a long time. I've been using substances since I was like 14. And it's a very long life to live of substance abuse. So I'm choosing a different season. And if that's you and you're in a season where your skin just feels tight and you're ready to shed that skin and you're ready to become renewed and become a different version of yourself, embrace it. Don't be afraid. Be afraid of what your friends will think and the people that you know will say about you. Get excited. Get excited that something new is on the horizon and that you can be a different version of yourself self and still hold space for that person that you used to be. Because when you start to feel like you don't even know yourself anymore and the things that used to thrill you and excite you don't hit the same, they just kind of hit different, and it's like this slow apathy, you know. It's just like a slow death of self and this apathy of numbness, you know. You're not in an existential crisis, and you're not having an identity crisis. You're just shedding your skin and you're shifting. You're doing exactly what we're supposed to do. It's a divine invitation to rise, to shine, to grow, to become something new. And you know, let the old you take a rest. You've been running for a long time, especially those of us who party, who have been party animals for our adult life. If you're a millennial, it's time to grow up. It's time for us. The world is ours, and we have missed the boat. Shit, we've burned them. The world that we lived in no longer exists, and it's partially our fault. And if we would like to get any sort of resemblance and essence of that back, it's time to put the party down. I'm not saying you can't go have fun, but I'm saying it's time for us as millennials, as, the adults in the room to be the adults. Our parents are getting older. It's not their job to take care of everything anymore. It's our job. And if we're going to hand off our world to the generations below us, we have to set the example that it's okay to change and it's okay to shift and it's okay to be responsible and it's okay to be an adult. Say thank you. Thank you, old self, for having so much fun. Thank you, old self, for all of these cool memories and these realizations and getting through these trials and these traumas. But I kindly let you rest. I'm putting you to sleep and say thank you. I love you. And take a step back and take a step forward, even if it's slow and shaky, into that next version of who you're being called to be. Because we were never ever meant to stay the same. We were just not meant to be the exact same all of life. That is why we are on earth, is to evolve and to change and to have new realizations and to help others do the same. So today I want you to honor the transformations that you've had and embrace the transformations that are coming forward. Because that's the essence of life. That's what it's all about. And if you're stuck in a rut and you don't know how to get started, all you have to do is one thing: anchor in. Anchor into your wellness foundations, one step, one bite, one breath at a time. That's all you have to do. Just start small. Just start somewhere. If you start somewhere and it's putting the drink down and getting sober, it's probably the best way. And if you need some assistance, there's a great app. It's called I Am Sober. It's free. And you can log your sobriety, and it actually helps keep you accountable because it's fun to do, and you want to see the progress that you've made. I have struggled with this. I am only 6 days into my sobriety, so I'm not over here preaching at all of you. I'm just saying that it's time to make a shift, and I'm hopeful that this will inspire someone, if just one person, to say, you know what? I'm tired of being my 20-year-old self. I'm tired of being my 35-year-old self. I am ready to jump into that next version of myself, and I'm ready to be renewed and try something different. Maybe I'm going to change up my style. Maybe I'm going to change up my house decorations. Maybe I'm going to see what kind of new friends are out there. Maybe I'll try a new activity. Whatever. Just start somewhere. And if you really don't know where to start and you need some help, reach out to me. I'm offering a free consultation, a coffee chat with anybody who wants to explore. So come have coffee with me. The link is on my website, www.lacyjwatson.com. Put in an application if you would like to work with me for coaching. But if you want to just have a coffee chat, send me a DM and we'll get on a Zoom and we can talk about it. Because the next version of you, it's screaming to be embraced. It's screaming to come out, especially if you're a millennial. It is time. If you've been stuck in the party for too long, it's time. It's time for us to become the adults in the room and do something different and something bigger than ourselves and impact the world. The climate this morning is really a little bit freaky. We are at world on the brink of WW3 here. So if we want things to change, it has to start with us and we have to be more conscious and we have to make a concerted effort and it's going to be hard and it's going to suck and it's not going to be comfortable, but that's what needs to happen in order for the world to change. If you want the world to change, it has to start with you. So if we want to create that generational ripple effect, we have to start by anchoring in. Anchor into your wellness foundations. What are you eating? What are you drinking? How are you sleeping? What thoughts are you thinking? What are you putting in your mind? How are you moving? Motion shifts emotion. Anchor in. So take a deep breath. I know this was a heavy topic today, especially for some of you, but you are allowed to grow. It's okay. Become the next version of yourself. We are waiting. Rise up, shine up, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a lovely Monday, everyone.